Hello and welcome to the Carlsbad hub of Vesta. We are located in California, and all of us here serve the whole state of California, but we are the Carlsbad, so that's just north of San Diego if you don't know where we are. We are talking today about Prop 19 and the Gray Divorce, because if you haven't heard about the Gray Divorce, reality is the only growing statistic for divorce here in the United States are people that are over 50, which is called the Gray Divorce. And so we're going to talk about a couple of special considerations. First of all, my name is Laura McGee. I'm your host. I am a divorce mediator. And let me introduce you to the team. We've got Zach and Cinda. You want to say who you are and what do you do?
Sure. Zach Taylor. I'm a mortgage lender specializing in divorce. Thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Cinda Jones, Divorce Financial, and thank you for coming.
All right. So divorce is an emotional experience, of course, but probably even more importantly, get yourself a therapist, but get yourself some financial people, build a team, because the money matters in divorce, and the final decisions that you make in this process really are final. So there's this very interesting, if you live in California, Prop 19 was passed a couple of years ago, and most people don't really know anything about it. It's worth some research. Prop 19 says if you're over 55, you can take the property tax, that purchase price that you bought the property at. One person in divorce can take it with them if they stay in California up to 3 times. So maybe you have a home. I had a couple that this happened to recently. They only paid $280,000 for a home in Encinitas. They sold it for over $2 million. Wife decided she's going to build a small housing unit on her mother's property, so she didn't need it. She was willing to give it up. Husband can buy his next home for, say, $1 million if he wants, but his property tax basis is based on that first home that they only paid $280,000 for. And he gets to have that for the rest of his life. So in mediation, we often negotiate these very soft financial matters, because it's pretty valuable to have a property. Like you buy a home for $1 million. Zach, what do you expect to pay in
Well, your taxes would go up from 2,600 was the example that you gave, or like, let's say they bought the place for 260. Their taxes are probably $4,000 now or something like that a year. On $1 million place, even, 1.1% ish. I mean, you're talking about 12 grand a year. So, you're talking about $8,000 a year for your budget. When you're going to make a move, that's a huge amount of money. That's $600 a month, right? Difference. So,
right, exactly. So if you sit down with someone like Cinda, you're going to help them with a post-divorce budget. And so just let them know that. Tell us a little bit about how you work a consideration like this in.
Well, we have to be cognizant of all of the expenses in connection with the property and the HOA. And when people move, sometimes they didn't have one and now they do. And so that adds to the cost and the burden. One of the things that I've seen people do with that Prop 19 and one person, because they can take it or whoever is staying in the house has it. So the person that is in the house keeps it. But you can do a calculation where the other person who isn't keeping that tax advantage, then there might be a lump sum buyout or an additional amount of money that would come from the community property that person could have in their pocket to make a more equitable distribution in terms of taxes.
Right. But remember, right, Laura, if it's not in the mediation agreement, right, if you sell your house and it's not agreed to in advance, whoever goes and buys the house first and applies with the county and gets it, gets it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Be aware of that. Yep.
Yeah, it's a race. And you only have 2 years to use your Prop 19, so don't lollygag. There's so much more to know. And so what we're offering today is a couple of tips so that you don't have regrets as you go through your divorce. Build a team. We are a whole team here at Vesta. We all work independently, but we have an amazing concierge service. They'll line you up with the services you need. It's complimentary to reach out to them. And we all offer complimentary consultations as well. So we're here to ensure that you are divorcing in a conflict and cost managed way so you can move on and thrive after your divorce. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.